Yes, hope all of us are doing fine. My name is Ernest, and this is Ernest Sciences and Mathematics TV channel. In this particular discussion, I'm going to look at a different specific type of average referred to as a quantile. And this basically forms one of the averages from the previous discussion we had discussed on the concept of the mean, mode, median, and of course, lastly, the quantiles. Now, in this case, I mentioned that quantiles are going to be divided in a specific set of three sets, which basically constituted the concept of quartiles, deciles, and percentiles. Now, in this case, these are going to be specific type of measures which are going to, of course, divide data according to their set of positions. And I had mentioned the concept of a median, and said that basically for the median, this is going to be a specific value which is going to appear in the middle of a particular data which has been arranged in order of magnitude. Now, in this case, we are also going to see that the concept of quartiles are going to be ordering data in with respect to the specific positions. And of course, we're going to see that quartiles are going to form a set or rather a part of this specific class of quantiles. Now, for quartiles, these are going to divide data into four equal parts. And we're going to see specific representations that we can use for finding various types of quartiles. Now, for a specific set of data which is going to be considered, we're going to see that the values which are going to correspond to these particular positions are going to be denoted using these specific notations, which are going to be given as Q1, Q2, Q3, given in that particular order. So this is going to represent the first quartile, and this is going to represent the second quartile, and the last one is going to represent the third quartile given in that particular sequence. So we're going to have three scenarios whereby we're going to have this specific quartile represented as Qi, where I represent a set of values for the first quartile, the second quartile, and the third quartile given in that particular order. Now we have a general representation that we're going to use in trying to find ith quartile. And in this case, as we said, for a quartile which is going to divide a specific set of data into four equal parts, we can give a representation for an ith quartile where, as I have said, I represent values of the first, second, and third quartile, represented as the ratio between the product of the number of observations given as n and I, and then we're going to have this one divided by 4 given as such. So this is going to give us a relationship of the ith quartile being represented as I over R times n over 4 given as such. So we're going to see that these specific values for the quartiles are going to appear in a particular form, whereby we're going to see that they're going to be generally given in a way that the first quartile is going to appear for a set of values which are equivalent to or greater than 25% of that specific set of data. And then we're going to see for the second quartile is going to appear for values of a range of numbers which are, of course, 50% of that specific data. And then, of course, collectively, that one is going to be given as such for the third one. Now, in this case, we're going to look at a specific representation or the general formula which we're going to use in representing a various set of quantiles for group data. And we're going to have this one given in terms of an equation, which I'm going to give on the board. So therefore, we can find this ith quartile by having it as the sum of the lower class limit of the quartile class, and this is going to be given in terms of LQI, and this is going to be given with the sum of the class width, and then we're going to have this one divided by the frequency of the quartile class, and of course that's going to be multiplied with this specific ratio over I and over Q. Of course, I've talked about this one, and then that's going to be minus the frequency of the class, the frequency of the class which is preceding the quartile, the Qith quartile of this specific class. So in this case, we are going to look at this one, and as I said, the values of I are going to be given as the first, the second, and third quartile, and that's going to give us a general. So I'm going to elaborate on this specific representation. So I've talked about the LQI. So this is going to form the lower class boundary of the quartile class. So they talked about the class boundary and the lower class limit in this case. Now for us to generate the boundary and dimension of a particular formula, which I'm going to elaborate on shortly. So we have said that this is going to be the lower class boundary of the quartile class. And then we have this one as the class size of the quartile class. And then we shall have this specific value, as I said, n, which is going to be the total number of observations given in terms of n. And then we shall have this one as I said, the cumulative frequency of the class preceding the quartile class, of this preceding the quartile class given as such. And then we're going to see that basically for the FQI, this is going to be a frequency of the quartile class given as such. So this is going to be the relationship between these specific variables or quantities which I've given, of course, are going to give us a representation for the of course, ith quartile of a specific set of data. And in this case, we're going to see that this particular case, as I had mentioned, we're going to have this one representing the ith quartile, whereby in a particular quartile class, this specific class is going to have as the smallest cumulative frequency, which is, of course, is a less than type. We have talked about two specific sets of frequency of a less than type, which is going to be greater than or equivalent to the value of this in over 4 given as such. I'm going to use a specific example in our evaluation in order to elaborate on this specific concept. So catch us in our next video as we're going to look at another type of quantiles. And at the end of our discussion, I'm going to use a specific example in trying to evaluate the various sets of quantiles which we're going to use for our illustration purposes. So that is it for now, guys. By God bless you. Catch us in our next video.